Okay. Excuse me. Hey. Welcome to Represent. I am Crunk Chocolate, part of Shades of Blues pod. Let's try that again. Hold on. I was trying to move my Google Doc smaller and I cannot
No,
multitask.
you're good.
All right. Turn off loop track. There we go. Hey. Welcome to Represent. I am Crunk Chocolate, part of Shades of Blue content season right now, baby. Bringing you an episode every other day throughout the summer. Where other podcasts go on holiday, they're taking a vacation. Shades of Blue, we crank our feet up to 10, baby. Show every other day for you, Shady Gang. Represent is where we can relax a little. Off season for us means no tribalism, temporary truce. I can get out and meet most dope people. Talk about how they fell in love with football and the clubs they support. If you're watching on YouTube, please like the video, thumbs up, leave a comment on the episode with your thoughts. For those who prefer the audio only experience, rate and review us on the podcast app Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Good Pods, all those digital streaming platforms. I have a wonderful guest for you. First time guest, Shady Gang, co founder of Rose Room Collective, which is first, most dope name. Two, it is a Washington Spirit and DC United Supporters group. Shady Gang, give it up for Riss. Actually, hold on. Before, because I'm going to cut this off. How do you say your last name? Because I don't want to butcher it.
No, you're good. It's Willett.
It is Willett. Okay.
Yep.
Shady Gang, give it up for Riss Willett. How are you? How's the morning?
Good.
Yes, thank you for coming on, and especially right before your vacay too. So it's nice to
Yeah.
feel like you've accomplished something, and now you can just truly go and relax and just
Yes,
enjoy yourself.
absolutely. Packing for a trip plus a kid is 10 times harder than I was expecting it to be, but it's done and we're good to go.
I could only imagine. Shout out to you for doing that. But we'll get started with a nice little icebreaker. Love for you to introduce yourself. Let us know a little bit more about you and plug the things that you do. Let us know a little bit more about Rosewood Collective.
Okay, so I am Riss Willett. I am a mom to a 1-year-old little girl. She's the light of my life. Also married to my husband. And I am a Washington Spirit diehard fan
Let's
for
go.
12 plus years now. It doesn't seem like that long, but it's been a long time.
Dope.
Um, what else? I'm also kind of, sort of like, I kind of stay into it, but DC United side as well.
Mhm.
Not as much as a Spirit, but um, like them too. And then I used to play soccer as a kid as well. So it kind of ties into how I got into soccer.
Love it. Love it. Well, the next set of questions, it's a pairing, overrated, underrated. We're going to start with underrated. What is an underrated thing about football? They can be general, sport, culture, fandom, rules, any of it. Hit me.
Um, I actually got asked this question, kind of a similar paraphrasing of it, but
Mm-hmm.
my most underrated thing is probably rivalries. We
Oh,
don't see enough of it, at least in the NWSL side. You know, we have the Cascadia rivalry, Portland and Seattle, and then you have the California teams, the Wave and ACFC. But I feel like they're really underrated. You don't see a whole lot of them.
hey, I'm with you. I'm a big fan of beef. I've been just trying to find a random podcast to fake beef with, and nobody wants to do it. And now beef is like a thing now. I've been like trying to
Yeah.
get this for over a year, and it's like we could be this right now. What are we doing? And now
Yeah.
we just look like we're chasing it. So time has passed, but I I enjoy rivalry. It's always fun. It just any inspiration I feel like as athletes need to be like, hey, we need to beat these people down. It I guess
It
with
adds a
it
little
all
more
changed.
spice to the game.
Exactly. And I guess is do you think it's geography? Is it maybe is it do players move a lot in the NWSL? Why do you feel like there aren't as many rivalries? Is it just because the whole vibe is just in general is trying to be kumbaya more than like take each other out?
I mean, I feel like it's a combination of all of that. I do think it is a little kumbaya, which is why I would prefer to see more rivalries.
Yeah.
Um, but I definitely think it's a combination of all of those things. I feel like a lot. I think in the last couple of years, we've seen a lot of players move to a lot of different teams. So I think it's a lot of that.
And I feel that because it's very similar how it is in the NBA now, because all the players are all buddies with each other, so there doesn't really seem to be much beef. And there aren't that many teams in the NWSL. I'm not saying like do a huge expansion, but I guess if you would get more teams, that would kind of help in the rivalry with regions. Or maybe you just need to be out here stoking beef. You just need to be starting Twitter beefs, talking smack about other teams. And
Yeah.
yeah, say you represent Washington Spirit, you just don't ever tag them. So then you don't actually represent them. But then you can just like snag comments at other teams and just be
For
like,
sure.
they wish they be us. You know, let's start. That's how it starts. A rivalry starts with the fans. So if you
Yeah.
just
I
smack
d-
talk, find.
and I definitely think, especially with a lot of the players getting called up to the national team, everybody knows each other. So it's kind of like, well, we're all friends. No, you don't always have to be friends when you're not on the national
You
team.
don't.
You
Yeah.
can be a rival. It's okay. It's okay to, a little shove. It's all right. It's fine.
You can like them and also want them to never win against
Yeah.
you. Like two
I
things,
have my own
duality.
personal rivalry with Portland. I just don't like Portland. So that's my own personal rivalry.
Well, and that honestly makes sense, right? I mean, but let's start it up. Washington versus Portland, and hey, and those are marquee teams. You would think the NWSL would want to stoke that a little bit for media
Yeah.
narratives and push it for
We've
some
never won
money.
at Portland. Never, never. I can't tell you. I
Oh,
can't tell you the last time that we've won at Portland. I can't.
that's tough.
And yeah, so when we didn't
I
win like 2 weeks ago when we played them there, so it just stoked the fire a little more.
Exactly. As a City fan, I can't really say too much. There was Tottenham was a team that we could never beat at Tottenham, and we recently just beat them twice in a row in back to back. It was different competitions, but it was still within the span of this season. So
Yeah,
I hope for you in your experience that jinx gets broken as well for you. You
I
know,
sure
I
hope
hope
it
joy for you. uh, okay, so on the other end, what do you feel is overrated and
is.
thing that's overrated about football?
Overrated. I mean, I'm probably gonna go on the rules side of it. Um, just with offside, it's so like it's not always black and white. You could be like a teeny tiny hair off,
I
or like
know.
it. I need to be a little more black and white.
So are you with this? They're talking about that rumors where it's a new
Oh yeah, the
offside where it has
changes.
to be like visible. Are you?
Yeah,
Is that what you're kind of like? You're like, nah. Let's aim for it. Let's chaos, baby.
I
Let's
listen.
get the score up 12-7,
The, yes, and
42,
especially
35.
yeah, especially with the whole like VAR thing, and we're seeing a lot of in the NWSL is they're taking like 10 years to make a decision if something was offside or a penalty or a handball. And I'm like, if it's not clear and concise, I need you to move on. Where then you're seeing like 8, 9 minutes of stoppage time in the first half. Like to me, I needed to just be a little more black and white. It just I feel that's very overrated. We need to just be a little better.
And before all these rules and VAR, is like football was played, and these goals that were kind of close, they were allowing it. So I
Yeah,
just don't understand why the they're just so tight and weird about things. I don't know. If it's like like let it go. We're
let
messing
it
up the
go.
vibes. Like a
Yeah,
lot of football is supposed to be
it,
about vibes, it's supposed to be
yeah.
connecting in the moment, and now players they score and they're like looking for the
It
danger
it
of
definitely
the
kills
flag
the
going up.
vibe. It kills the vibe. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like I feel like VAR is definitely needed because there are some things
Yeah.
that are definitely overlooked that should not be. But like VAR and offside is just those are my two things that are like, yeah.
I'm with you. I'm with you. What made you fall in love with football?
And it kind of takes it back to what I said earlier. I used to play soccer as a kid. I was playing like on a rec team in elementary school, and my dad, who's no longer with us, he would take me to practices, and like I was. Listen, I'm not a runner. I'm not the type of person to be like Speedy Gonzalez. And I one specific memory I have, I think it was like preseason, and we were like running a mile, and I was like in the back, and all I see is my dad jogging, and I'm like, oh my god, just
He's, you got this,
he's like,
girl.
yes, you got this, like keep going.
I'm with you. And you're like, I don't
I was
with
like,
you.
I would rather be last than for you to be sitting here running with me right now. That is a specific memory. I will never forget that. But he was always my ride or die when it came to like going to soccer practices and games and
Love
stuff.
that.
And then obviously like when he passed away, I was like I felt like this connection to it, and I stopped playing for a while. And I think I picked it back up in middle school, and I played for a little while, and then I stopped again. And then I actually had a friend who I played with, and she was playing for like a random team, and she was like, "You should come play with us." I was like, but I ended up playing for like 2 or 3 years until I aged out of the group because I think it was like a U21 team. But that's how I kind of got into it, and then
Hey,
the rest is history.
that's just history. I love it. Uh, yeah, said it. We know you're a Washington Spirit supporter, and I assume you live in the area. So, was it one of those things that you were hoping for a women's club to come to the area the entire time, or was it that you heard about it and you were just like, "All right, I'm all in," and then it would, yeah. Tell us your uh, origin story for how
Yeah.
you chose the club you
Um,
support.
so when I first found the spirit, I was still for DMV people. I was still in like the Anne Arundel County area, so I was a little bit closer. But I actually had a friend take me to a game, so she knew about the spirit prior to me like ever like knowing anything about it. And this was when they were still playing at the Plex. Rest in peace. And she took me to a game, and I was like, yeah, I love this. Like, I'm gonna have to keep
Nice.
coming back. And she and I went to a lot of games together. Um, and then they finally moved to Audi, and that's when they were split. So they were playing at Audi and they were playing at Segra. And I only went to Segra one time, and that was for a very special reason. But I kind of just we went to a bunch of games, and I was like, yeah, I'm in. Like, I'm hooked. And that's kind of the rest is history.
I love it. I love it. I love it so much. Well, who is your all-time favorite player from your the club you support, and why?
I think right now she's a favorite for everyone. Our rookie Croy Bethune.
Yes,
She
yes,
is just an all star right now, and she's knocking down barriers, and she's breaking down walls, and she's pretty much building a really good profile. And I can't wait to see what she does. Her and Trent together are just
yes,
solid. They're great.
yes, yes. I decided to become an Angel City fan. I didn't know anything about it. One of our guests
Yeah,
came on. They sold a good story about it. I love the area. I love tacos. That was kind of their whole thing, the party before. And I was just like, sure. It's been a little rough this year, but
yeah.
I'm in it. But it's been really exciting being tapped into the WSL and watching games. I live in Iowa, 3 hours from Chicago. There's base FC is coming to play the Red Stars at Wrigley Field, and I'm going to
Oh
go to
yeah,
that
yeah.
game. Yeah, so I'm going to go to that game, and I'm bringing a couple of friends who don't watch women's. soccer, and so it's going to be a good time. Hopefully, meeting up with some homies that there as well, and yeah, just trying to embrace all of the football. And actually, I'm just trying to see matches, all the live matches as
Honestly.
possible.
Hashtag go to games.
Yes, yes, yes. In person stuff. Like, yes, I have a reason to miss games when I'm because I'm a Manchester City fan. It's a long trip. That's a lot of money, but
Oh yeah, for
I got
sure.
football now, and the weather's nice. So yeah, it's
Yes.
time to get
Time to
out
be
here and be
outside.
mixy. Hey, let's go.
Gotta be outside.
Oh man. Okay. Well, I asked the all time, but I mean, is that also who your current flavor player is? I mean, is LaCroix,
Um,
is she doing
I
okay?
would say probably yeah. Croy is one of my favorites. And then obviously someone who's been in the game for a really long time, Sydney LaRue. She's probably one of my favorites too.
Yes, yes. I mean, that's a solid pick. I'm not gonna argue with that at all.
Yeah, Sid the kid, man.
Yeah, right, right. Yeah. Okay. Well, with Washington Spirit, I mean, went through the effort of starting a supporter group, so I feel like there might be some kind of match day routine, or maybe is there some sign of superstition? Is there something that you have to do the day of a Washington Spirit match?
Um, so it's probably changed a little bit for me now, just because I have a kid. Um, for me, match day routine pre-kid, I used to go out a couple hours early because technically right now the Spirit don't have a place to tailgate. When they were playing at the Plex, they had the parking lot area, so they were able to tailgate and actually like do real tailgate things. So being an Audi, it's a little bit different. It's a little bit more of a dynamic change, but for the most part, it's a really locked down place. We usually go to Solace, which is within walking distance to Audi Field. So everybody kind of meets up there. Spirit Squadron, Buzzard Point Social, 202 Unique. We all kind of hang out there for a little while, and
Yep.
then
Shout out
we
to
all
them.
walk together to Audi. So that's probably the one thing that I did was a constant as a match day routine. After kid, I don't necessarily go to Solace now because I took
Understand.
her. I
Understand.
took her to her first game a couple weeks ago, and I drove down there and I went to the stadium. I didn't go to Solace. So it's a little bit different if I have her with me, but that's
Yeah.
normally like a match day routine for me if I'm
Yes. I
just
love
flying
it.
solo.
I love it. I love it. Yeah. I oddly enough, because it's so early in the morning, mine is just make coffee. So I'm aware and awake. I try to take notes. Recently, I've just tossed my phone across the room so social media can't interrupt me or, one football let me know that there's a goal coming. I just want to be in the moment
Yeah,
and have
no,
my celebration or meltdown appropriately. I don't want it ruined. Yes, I just
100%.
want to feel it. Oh, well, all right. The last question. This is my favorite. So I'm just a random person. I have yet to pick my club that I want to support quite yet. And here you come. Oh, I bump into you at an elevator, and you have 30 seconds to sell me Washington Spirit. How about and go?
So if you've never been to a women's soccer game, you gotta check out the Washington Spirit. They are a really young team with a lot of rookies, a lot of veterans, and the vibes are immaculate. The supporter section is always jumping, we're chanting, we're waving our flags, and the match day activities are pretty awesome to be honest with you. So I feel like that's a really good reason to check out the game.
Wow, nailed it. Oh, with time to go.
Good
That's
time to
powerful.
go.
Okay, let's
Gotta keep
go.
it short and sweet, man. Got you
Hey,
lose it if
but
you go too long.
hey, that is the elevator pitch. You seem to be a master at this. Look at you. I can't imagine all the legions of Spirit supporters you have brought in. You just nailed it. Hey,
Yeah,
you got 30 seconds to hear about Washington Spirit. Hey, you got 30 seconds to hear about Washington
yes.
Spirit. Oh, well, again, Shady Gang, please give it up. Hooray.
having me. I appreciate it.
Yes, we will be in touch more because we do a lot of different show offerings and Thursday night live stream that is pretty chill and laid back. So we would love to have you on to that. But
Yeah,
please, before
absolutely.
you go, plug yourself. Let people know where they can find you and the things that you
Yeah.
do on social media.
So I am on all forms of social media. I am on Twitter, or if you call it X, call it X. I am at. Oh shoot! Let's look and see because I don't remember.
She said, if you call it X, you
I
call
know.
it. That's good for
I don't
you
know
if you
nobody
want to
who calls
call it X.
it. On Twitter, I am at Riss_Willett. And then our supporter group is at Rose Room Co. And that's the same for Instagram as well. And then my personal Instagram is at Riss Explains It All. If you're a 90s kid, you know Clarissa Explains It All. It's a little
Yes.
play on. But that's where I
Well,
am on socials.
hey, well, thanks again for coming on. And
Thank you
Shady
so much.
Gang, you know we're gonna be back for you soon. This is content season, a new episode, another most dope guest. We're gonna tuck in, and we got represent. We got end of the season report. I'm sure some other teams are gonna be popping up. Stay tuned, and you know the vibes. Shady gang, shady gang, shady gang.